Hello and welcome to the Nail in the Coffin Podcast. I'm Drayson Ball. With me as always, Scotty Beckstrom.
44 points, Dre. 44 points at home. I don't even think our high school teams would lose that bad, man.
I don't know about your high school team, but we definitely did. So great to have you in for the Nail in the Coffin Podcast. We got a great show for you today. We're excited. We're amped up. We got a little bit of the NBA playoffs. We're talking a little bit about about Lonzo Ball, LeVar Ball, and a little bit about his shoes. I'm going to talk a little bit about the NBA lottery and the draft coming up. And finally, we're going to introduce a new little segment called Get Cremated at the very end of the show, so make sure you stick around for that. Oh, yeah. We're really excited for a new segment that we're introducing. We've been off for a couple of weeks, getting finished with school. Final exams got us busy for a few weeks, but we're back, we're ready to go, and we should be uploading more consistently now that we're both free from school and for summer. So, Scotty, let's get right into it. You mentioned it earlier, 44 points last night for the Cavs over the Celtics in Boston. What a game. What are your thoughts on it?
What a game for the Cavs. I mean, the media had kind of been talking about how the Celtics were a week 1 seed, and boy, we sure saw it last night. 44 points on your home floor. I mean, that's pretty bad. I don't know if this is a case of the Celtics being that bad or the Cavs just being that good right now.
Yeah, I mean, the Cavs are just amazing. You know, I've said it before, and I'll say it again. I don't think anyone's gonna beat them four times in a row or 4 times, in a series. So I just think they're the better team, and we clearly saw it last night. Before the playoffs even started, and the Celtics were kind of looking like they were going to be the number 1 seed. People were saying, can they give a Cavs a run? They're the best competition in the East. Can they make a game out of it or whatever? Can they make a series? And it's clear that we see that they have no chance, especially going back to Cleveland now. It's over in 4.
Oh, yeah.
And last night I was...
Break the brooms out.
Last night, did you see J.R. Smith doing that last night?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I was thinking, last night, probably with most of the internet, most of the people watching it, they should just sim to the end of the game, and then they should just sim the rest of the series and just call it over.
It's over.
There's no chance the Celtics are going to go into Cleveland and win even 1 game.
The Cavs have just dominated the East, and what's been cool is both the Warriors and the Cavs. That's kind of been the story of not the season but the playoffs as well. Yeah. Where they've dominated, they haven't lost a game. I mean, the Warriors kind of came close on that game 1 against the Spurs. Luckily for them, Kawhi got injured, and that kind of helped them get the win. But still, you got 2 teams that haven't lost a game in the playoffs.
Yeah, and they were definitely the best 2 teams in the league, even though Cleveland didn't end up with the best record in the East. They obviously coasted at the end and rested some of their guys towards the last few games of the season.
It's just total dominance with the Warriors, Cavs. So, Dre, do you think the Warriors and Cavs are just that much ahead of the rest of the NBA?
Yeah, I mean, I think they've constructed their teams in a way that allows them to be successful. I mean, the Cavs have the big 3 with LeBron, Kyrie, and Love, and the Warriors have the big 4: Durant, Klay Thompson, Steph, and Draymond.
Don't forget JaVale McGee. He's throwing dunks in there.
Yeah, he's probably not even the best player off the bench for either team. So let's get away from that. But yeah, I mean, like I said, I think it's been pretty much from the end of last season, especially after the Warriors acquired Kevin Durant in the offseason. I think it's been kind of a foretold story.
Yeah, we've all kind of known this is going to happen. They're going to meet
in the finals again. Let's transition out of the Warriors-Spurs series. They're up 2-0. They play Game 3 tonight in San Antonio. Kawhi is actually going to be out again. Yeah. They just actually announced that he's going to be ruled out. Does the Spurs have any chance to get a game in San Antonio?
I don't think. No, not with Kawhi out. Kawhi was kind of their only hope, and now with Kawhi out, the Warriors are going to break the brooms out as well, and both teams are going to go into the finals undefeated, which is pretty crazy.
Yeah, I don't think we've ever seen that before. I mean, I can't remember a time where I've seen both teams going into the finals having not lost a game, but it's inevitable, right? It's going to happen, right?
They got to. Yeah, it's got to happen. And with the Spurs, with Kawhi going out, there's no chance of. He was still in. I would say maybe they'd get a game or 2 because defensively the Spurs are pretty sound. They're pretty good fundamentally on the defensive end, but with Kawhi, their best player out, their best scoring option, it's done. It's over for them.
And also the Spurs don't have Tony Parker as well.
Yeah, that's a big.
So 2 of their starting 5 from the entire season are gone.
That's right.
It's hard to give them a chance, even though they are a good team, a well-coached team. They still have a lot of pieces. They have LaMarcus Aldridge, Pau Gasol, who albeit is old.
Yeah.
Patty Mills, and they got some that Simmons kid who's a younger guy, but I wish they could win a game or two, just to make it a little more competitive. But I don't have really any hope for them. So.
And it's been a fun playoff series, but we've all, I think, everyone who's watched have kind of known the end result. We all know it's going to be the Cavs, Warriors. But it's been a pretty fun playoff series. The Washington-Boston series was really fun.
Right.
When John Wall hit the game winner in Game 6, that was a good matchup.
Yeah, that was a good series, and I think people like it when there's 6 or 7 games in a series. Watching a sweep really isn't that entertaining. So let me ask you this now.
Especially.
It is, we've heard a lot, that the Warriors, Cavs, being that they're so dominant, it makes it bad for the NBA. What are your thoughts on if the Warriors and the Cavs being this good and being this dominant, is it bad for the NBA or what do you think?
I don't think it's bad for the NBA at all. I think it's awesome because now it's attracting more viewers for this third matchup in a row in the finals of the Cavs Warriors. I think it's awesome. I know there's some people out there that are kind of sick of the same teams over and over again. Like, I'm sick of the Patriots in the NFL because they cheat and yet they still get to the Super Bowl every year. I can see it being the same concept.
Allegation.
Well, hey, Bill Belichick, not a fan. Anyway, that's kind of the same thing with the Cavs Warriors, where a lot of people are sick of the same old teams. But it's a different story each year. The first year was the Warriors' first time being in the finals. I guess in a long time. And then the Cavs' first finals appearance, pretty much in forever. Mm-hmm. And the second year of the finals, you had the 73 and the really good Cavs, or Warriors team, that set the record.
Yeah.
And then this year you have the KD Warriors versus the Cavs. So it's been a different storyline each year. This is the most hyped up year for it. Yeah. And I think it's going to be an awesome series.
It kind of goes back. People always talk about the glorious Lakers-Celtics days when they were meeting every year in the finals. And no one ever says, "God, I got so sick of the Lakers and the Celtics." No one ever says that.
They loved it.
They love that. And I think a lot of times we tend to glorify the past, right? Mm-hmm. So we tend to look on the past and we think, oh, that vacation was the best, or oh, my junior year in high school was the best, or but during that vacation, during that junior year, you weren't saying that. You weren't saying this is the best year in school, this is the best vacation. You're complaining and things like that. But then you look back on it and you think that was so great because you get context of other things that have happened after it. And I think we're doing that with the Cavs Warriors right now because we're they're going to be in the finals again. It's been three years in a row. I think we're getting a little fatigued of it, but it's good basketball. These are the best two teams in the league, and why wouldn't you want to see the best two teams in the league, especially with a storyline like this? You have LeBron James, who's arguably the best player in the world. You have Kevin Durant joining the Warriors with that amazing storyline. Why wouldn't you want to see those two teams in the finals?
Exactly. I'm always asking my dad and kind of that generation that watched Michael Jordan, how was Michael Jordan? Was he good? Was he amazing? And I feel like our kids are going to be asking us, oh, you got to watch LeBron against the Warriors? Yeah. You got to watch Steph against the Cavs? You got to see that series? Like, oh, that's so awesome. Tell us about it.
Yeah.
And it is good basketball. It's not – last night the Celtics had like 3 possessions in a row where they turned it over. Yeah. Just turnover. And not that the Warriors and Cavaliers don't turn it over, but they're just sound. They're good. And it's fun to watch.
They're definitely hitting their peaks at the right time of the season. So I'm definitely excited for it. We're pretty much set that it's destined to going to be Cavs and Warriors. I don't think anyone watching this is going to question that at all.
Sorry, San Antonio.
Unless you're a Boston fan or a San Antonio fan. So let's just jump into this right now. So we've kind of compiled 3 reasons. So I'm very much for the Cavs, and I think that they are going to win the finals.
And I'm very much for the Warriors, and I think they're going to win the finals. So we're pretty split on this.
We're pretty split. So we've talked about this over and over and over, and we've bantered back and forth several times about why our team's going to win, or our respective team that we back is going to win. So we've kind of compiled the list of 3 reasons why I think the Cavs will win, and you've got 3 reasons why you think the Warriors will win. We don't know what either one has written, so we're kind of going to go back and forth. So why don't we start with you? Start with your least. Like your third reason why they will win, not starting with your most important, your least important reason why they will win.
Gotcha. So my first big thing is I hear a lot that because Steph Curry and Kevin Durant's individual production are down, their points per game and whatnot are down, people are saying, well, the Warriors aren't as good as last season. The Warriors aren't as good. Well, actually, if we look at some stats, they're better statistically. And that's my number one reason is that the Warriors are statistically a better team than last year. Last year, they were averaging 114 points per game. This year, they're up to 116. Last year, they had 6.1 blocks a game. This year, they got 6.8 blocks a game. That's showing defensive improvement. Last year, they had 28 assists per game. This year, they got 30 assists per game. So they're sharing the ball a lot more. And that's a big reason, as I believe obviously there's the big Kevin Durant was added.
Right.
But they're better than last season when it goes statistically.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's hard for me to say that because when Kevin Durant out, they won 15 games in a row or whatever it was, and they went like 15-20 over the next 20 games that he was out. And I think they looked back how they were. Now, I've watched him play with Kevin Durant, and on paper it looks like they're a better team, and clearly you have the stats to back it. But I don't know. I don't think they're as good as they were last year. Just because here's my reason why. Here's why they weren't as good as they were last year, and here's my third reason why they won't win the championship and why the Cavaliers will, is the depth. So the depth of the Cavaliers is far better than the depth of the Warriors, right? So the bench for the Cavs, you got Deron Williams, you got Kyle Korver, Channing Frye, Iman Shumpert, and Richard Jefferson. Those are the guys that play the most. Occasionally they'll throw in Derek Williams. He has not been playing much in the playoffs, but during the season he was productive, and so he could be thrown in there in a pinch. Here's the bench for the Warriors. Sean Livingston, who's old and got bad knees. Andre Iguodala, who's been battling a knee injury and he's old as well. Ian Clark, who's ever heard of Ian Clark? Matt Barnes, who you're not going to go to Matt Barnes.
He got signed.
And your boy JaVale McGee. So that bench of the Warriors against the Cavs bench. It's no question that the Cavs are deeper. So when Kevin Durant goes out, when Steph Curry goes out, when Clay and Draymond go out, you're going to be putting Ian Clark against Deron Williams. Like, I'm going to favor the seasoned veteran of Deron Williams, who's been to the playoffs, who's played in big games like that, over a guy like Ian Clark or even Matt Barnes or a hobbled Andre Iguodala.
Yeah, I mean the Cavs have got a better bench. I don't deny that, but I don't think you do give them enough credit. The Warriors. I mean, how much Cavs or Warriors games have you really watched? JaVale McGee gets in there, and he actually, as much as I make fun of him, he actually gives them some pretty solid production. Like, he's a big presence, and like I said, he's kind of an idiot, but he gives them good minutes. McCaw had a great game last time.
Yeah.
And Iguodala, you can't undervalue Iguodala. He was the Finals MVP 2 years ago.
Yeah, but that's 2 years ago, and now he's like 38 or 39 or 40 or 40.
Well, Deron Williams is also old too.
Well, I mean
2 years ago he was.
But he doesn't have bad knees. He's not battling a knee injury right now. And like I said, I don't know. That's why I think the Cavs win. That's my third reason. So let's now move on to your second reason why you think they'll win.
So my second reason why the Warriors are going to beat the Cavs this year, Dre, in the finals, is we go back to the season series, and this is a huge indicator of predicting matchups. Is the season series, and both these teams match up pretty well with each other. But I think the Warriors have the advantage in the matchup. You look at the two games, and they split the series. But you look at the first game, Christmas Day. I mean, we were all watching. The Warriors blew a 10-point lead, just like they blew a 3-1 lead last year in the finals. But they blew They were up for most of that game.
I'm starting to see a theme here. They start blowing leads, start blowing 3-1 leads. I'm starting to see a theme here.
So they were up pretty much the whole game, and then they blow a lead, and they have to have Kyrie come hit a game-winning shot with a second left to ultimately win by 1.
Right.
For the most part, the Warriors outplayed them that game, except for the end when they made a run, and Kyrie had to bail them out with a pretty lucky shot. It bounced off the rim a few times. It was a pretty lucky shot.
Right.
And then we have the return game in Oakland. Was a 35-point blowout by the Warriors. The Warriors absolutely destroyed them in Oakland. So you got the Cavs who barely win in Cleveland, and then you got the Warriors who destroy the Cavs in Oakland.
So now we're going back on games on January where the Cavs didn't even care. Cavs did not even care about that game.
The Cavs and the Warriors, they both care about the game because whether anyone says or not, this is a rivalry, and both the teams want to beat each other because there's
LeBron is the smartest player we probably ever seen in the league. He's the smart. He knows if we go in here and we give him all we got.
What was his ACT score?
I don't care. Do you care about what Michael Jordan's ACT score was? He goes. Why would he say to his team, "Hey, let's go into Oakland. Let's give it everything we got. If we lose by 2 points, we're going to give the Warriors hope that they can beat us." Coming off of 3 games.
There's no way they tank that game.
4 games in a row that they beat the Warriors in a row.
There is no way they tank that game. They care about this game. You can see the intensity in the matchup.
I don't think they care about it.
You probably turned it off after they were down 20.
No.
Because you love the Cavs. But, man, you can see the intensity in the match. They care. They don't just throw. The Cavs didn't throw the Warriors game because it was the 4th on a 4-game road trip.
I think they did.
All right, Dre, what's your second reason? 35-point blowout in Oakland.
So here's my second reason. So the Cavs are a more physical team. than the Celtics. Obviously, the Celtics. They're a more physical team than the Warriors, right? So we saw it last year in the finals against the Cavs and the Warriors, where the Cavs were just bigger, faster, stronger, and they could just bully ball against the finesse Warriors. Steph Curry's a great shooter, but if you take away Steph Curry's shooting, what is he?
Have you not seen him get to the hole? Have you not seen his crossovers between his scoops, his layups?
He can't defend. He's not physical. He can't back you down. Klay Thompson without shooting is nothing. He's a good defender, but he's not physical. He's not a physical defender. He can stay in front of you. Kevin Durant, give me a break. He's a skinny little rail. But, the only good defender they have on their team, really, honestly, is Draymond Green. Klay Thompson is good, but come on, he's not gonna slow down the likes of LeBron James or anyone like that. They're gonna be more physical, and in finals games and high pressure situations like that, the physical team typically wins because they're going to the basket, they're being more aggressive, they're taking the ball to the hole, they get more fouls called on them or called for them. That's why I think they're gonna win, is physicality.
Yeah, I agree with you where the Cavs are a lot more physical team. Hopefully they should have used that physicality in the 35-point blowout in Oakland then.
Come on.
If they were
Move
more
on.
physical.
Come on now. What's your next point? Come on, move on now.
As for my last point, and arguably my most important point, I think, is Kevin Durant's will. Kevin Durant leaves the Oklahoma City Thunder, who absolutely loved him. They're up 3-1 on the Warriors. The whole state loves him. I mean, when there was a tornado there in 2010, the little kids when they were locked in the school building, they said, "Oh, Kevin Durant, come save me." That's who he was. They thought he was a superhero. He leaves Oklahoma City to go to Golden State because he wants to win a championship. Kevin Durant wants this bad. And here's the thing:
where was his will in 2012?
You need a guy like this. Where was his will last year in the Western Conference Finals? In 2010, the Los Angeles Lakers got Metta World Peace, Ron Artest. And he was kind of the guy. They had just won in 2009, Kobe's fourth. Metta World Peace, Ron Artest comes, and he fuels them because he wants a ring. And that really, really helped them in Game 7 when Metta dropped 20 points, and they ended up winning. So Kevin Durant wants this. Why would he leave somewhere where he's worshipped,
well,
where he's
loved, he wants it.
go to the Warriors?
I want to win the NBA championship.
And Kevin Durant's will is ultimately going to get them past the Cavs because he wants this bad.
But I don't know. That's probably your weakest argument because
no way.
Where was his will in 2012 in the finals?
He wasn't as good as he is now.
Oh, come on.
LeBron's better than he was in 2012.
He was the second best player in 2012, just like LeBron was the first best player.
LeBron wasn't as good as he is he's better now in 2012.
Exactly. So if they each progressed at the same rate,
they progressed.
Yeah, they in 2012 they were the same distance apart, right? They're
Kevin
the same
Durant
level if they progress the
same. He's going to fuel the Warriors because it's all on him. He's the enemy. He's the villain in the NBA.
I think he's going to choke.
And I think
he's going to choke.
Can't wait for June.
I think Steph Curry's going to be in like he has in the finals the last 2 years. He's not going to produce. And I think that's what's going to happen. And my final point, and need I say more, all hail the king. LeBron James is the best player we've ever seen in basketball.
Oh,
he's had the
that's
best
a pretty tall statement.
Playoffs probably of anyone ever. Let me just read you some of his numbers from the playoffs, right?
Yeah, let's hear it.
He's averaging 34.3 points per game, right? 8 consecutive games he scored 30 points or more. 8.5 rebounds, 7.1 assists per game. Those numbers are down because they've blown out the Celtics twice and he only had 4 assists in both games. That's why those numbers are down. He's shooting 57% from the field. 57%.
That's a high percentage.
And 46% from 3. He's shooting a higher percentage from 3 than Steph Curry. Come on now. LeBron is going to will his team. You're talking about will. LeBron willed his team from a 3-1 deficit last season. They're better this season. There's no way the Warriors are going to beat them 4 times in the finals. There's no way. All hail the king, King James.
Well, we'll see in June when the Warriors win the championship.
So, yeah, that's our 3 points of why the Cavs will win or why the Warriors will win. Let us know what you think in the comments. Let us know what you have to say about who will win in the finals, and if you even think the Warriors and the Cavs are going to meet in the finals. That's why I think they're going to win, and we'll see how it plays out this June.
Zaza's going to be an NBA champion. Congrats, Zaza. Yeah. Congrats.